Well, it's that time again to call out Spectrum News Channel 1, and you would think that a teenager getting shot on the subway would be a top story, or the fact that there was a major fire that happened in a synagogue in Flushing. Nope, because we're Queens County, we don't seem to matter to Channel 1 anymore. Again, this is why I keep telling everybody, Queens is now Staten Island 2.0. Oh, sure, we'll care about sharks in Rockaway Beach, but when it comes to anything else... Oh, and then you want to see the proof of latency? So whenever there's a big story going on in Astoria with crime, oh no, we'll put that off. But when it comes to showing the good side of Astoria, no, let's talk about that. I mean, really? 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 I mean, my God! But at least the good thing is, they did talk about congestion pricing, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that because guess who was on Channel 1? Or at least was honorably mentioned. Take a lucky guess. Come on. I hope you figured it out by now. My viewers know who this woman is if you've been a loyal subscriber to this channel. Come on.
Now, federal COVID aid for the MTA will run out faster than anticipated. A transit advocate at Monday's committee hearing laid out the state...
That's right! Lisa Daglian! Why aren't I surprised about this? Oh, I'm telling you, this is the corruption that we're facing right now. Look what this woman had to say on Monday.
...takes for riders.
Soon, very soon, we'll be looking at the latest fiscal cliff, or tsunami if you prefer, with the MTA's only real options to raise fares, cut service, or lay off workforce. None of those are okay.
Because of the...
Yeah, none of it's okay. But when people like you, who are influencing our elections, influencing, our news media, and trying to infiltrate the public... that's not a good sign for you, Lisa Daglian. So, it just comes to show that, again, this is the corruption that I'm facing with, that I have to deal with. And, I just wish that things would be a lot easier for us. But it seems, again, this battle is only getting worse. And you want to talk about congestion pricing. Look how long... They had another 6-minute story on it. 6 minutes. I mean, I don't want to...
At the MTA's monthly board meeting yesterday, officials took a step forward on the issue of congestion pricing, not only saying that the environmental
6 whole minutes. 6 minutes. And this isn't the first time Lisa Daglian's been on Channel 1. No, there have been numerous times. And this is the lady who they were playing earlier on the 5 p.m. newscast. I lost the tape, but maybe I can find it if I can pull it up. Well, I finally found the tape, so this is the congestion pricing that I was recording off the DVR earlier, because Spectrum's player just keeps acting up, and it causes my DVR disc to go crazy. So here's what I found regarding the congestion pricing from the 5 p.m. newscast.
New York is one step closer to becoming the first U.S. city to implement congestion pricing after MTA board members voted to form a traffic mobility
review.
review.
We're looking for.
Now...
the system. We've seen what happens where people... exemptions are, in general, a bad thing because it lets everybody game the system.
Are you kidding me? This woman has no clue why we need congestion pricing. I've said the real reason why we need congestion pricing is because we have one of the slowest ambulance response times in the whole country. Now, keep in mind, we lost that hospital on the west side of Manhattan that helped a lot of victims out during 9/11. So, it's this lady, it's Lisa Daglian, that's likely going to be on that corrupt panel for congestion pricing. And listen, folks, if you don't want this mess to go bad, at this point, I may want congestion pricing to fail. Just because it's going to be run by corrupt people like Kathy Wild and Lisa Daglian. Look, they're going to be sitting together having a good old jolly laughing time while we're going to be suffering blue-collar people who drive trucks who need to make deliveries into Manhattan. And, you know, again, what about the ambulance workers? So if they're picking up a patient somewhere in the 50s and they need to get to the Upper East Side, you're charging them a congestion pricing toll to go to Mount Sinai on the Upper East Side or Lenox Hill Hospital? Yeah, Kathy Wild, screw you. Screw you. Alright, this woman right here is why we have to vote in November. That's why it's so important. Alright, if you want Lisa Daglian off the PCAC, and you want all the corrupt Cuomo people off the MTA board, you have to vote for Lee Zeldin in November. You have to. Our state's depending on this. The MTA is a mismanaged organization. And we've seen this time and time and time again. Okay, so before I lose a gasket, because we do gotta talk about the other news going on, so they did lead off with laughing vice president. Don't even get me started on her. And the Democrat Socialist of America. Yeah, this is the demographic that Channel 1's clearly appealing to. And then look at this. They barely talked about the sexual assault suspect. Channel 7 did a much better job talking about that. So we'll try to find that story as we go along here. Because I don't really want to talk about too much crime. Because we do got to talk about the important two stories that's being ignored.
Appreciate it.
Here we go.
Police are searching for a suspect wanted in connection to several sexual assaults in the city. New surveillance video shows the suspect entering the Carroll Street subway station in Brooklyn. Authorities say that is where he sexually abused a 20-year-old woman on Saturday before she was able to get away. This same man is also a suspect in a separate attack that happened last Wednesday on the Upper West Side. There, police say he tried to rape a 33-year-old woman along West 69th Street. The Department of Sanitation...
And then here's a stupid story that they're claiming. This is the most idiotic story that they could be talking about right now. So, if you're not aware, Department of Sanitation's considering pushing back the put-out time for trash, where it's 4 o'clock now, and first of all, most of my neighbors here in Fresh Meadows put their trash out, like, at least 6 or 7 o'clock, at least around before dusk. So, here we go. City DOT is considering pushing back the time that would allow trash bags to be put out on sidewalks. Currently, city regulations permit buildings and businesses to place their trash and recycling on curbs at 4 p.m. for overnight and next-day pickup, the earliest set-out time of any major American city. However, the DOS, yes, sorry. I'm so used to saying Department of Transportation. However, the DOS says it's now considering moving the set-out time to 8 p.m. as a way to combat issues of rodents and dirty streets. So, it's just crazy. Alright, I understand that they're trying to reduce the rat population, and I get all that, but there was one business owner, let me see if it's in the video that I have. Not you, Kathy Wild. No, let's see. They were mentioning that in the report. Yeah, here's the guy that they were talking to. So this is a guy on the Upper West Side. He shuts his business down at 6 o'clock. So he has to wait until before 8 o'clock to put the trash out from the day. So watch this.
Placed curbside at 6 p.m. And commercial trash could go out in a bin with a secure lid starting an hour before a business closes. But a regular black garbage bag would have to wait until 8 at night.
Yep.
And that concerns some businesses.
We close at 6 p.m. If we have to, it's ridiculous. We're going to have someone come back in at 8 p.m. to put the trash out.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
We have no food garbage. You want a set of bins along 72nd Street? I'm wondering, how some people are going to stand for that.
DSNY says it is now...
Yeah, I completely agree with him. The fact that maybe he's trying to make a point about all the trash bins that get left on West 72nd by Broadway, but still, I mean... Sometimes I just don't understand New York City's logic. I bet this is Catherine Garcia behind the scenes doing something. It's still the influence that she claims that it's her Department of Sanitation still. I mean, really. She's probably getting some kind of kickback, but... Okay. So we're not even going to watch the congestion pricing thing because we do have to get some more serious news in this video. So this was the shooting in Queens that I was talking about, so let's rewind back.
More breaking news tonight and more gun violence in New York City. This time an 18-year-old man shot by someone who fired into a subway train from the platform in Queens. It happened at Beach 67th Street as the victim was riding a southbound A train. The victim hit once in the leg. He rode the train to the next stop where he was rushed to the hospital. So far, no arrests and no suspects.
It's so unfortunate. You'd think Channel 7 did a better job covering that for 30 seconds, but still, I mean... No, we're not going to send a reporter to the Rockaways. No, it's too far for us. Yeah, well, a teen was shot. Okay, I mean, really? Really?
We're back with more breaking news tonight.
Alright, this is the same story, but... Here we go, and then look at this. This is at Port Authority. A man was pushed onto the subway tracks. So here we go. 10:12 p.m. last night, a 27-year-old man came up to the victim and said to him, "Do you want to go to the tracks?" He then pushed the man onto the subway track roll bed. The victim did not make contact with the third rail. So, they don't even mention what subway line this was. I'm thinking if this was Port Authority, then... Oh, okay, this is the 8th Avenue line. Okay. But they don't mention what track it was. Was this a northbound track or a southbound track? That's what I want to know. Alright, so the victim was taken to Mount Sinai West with non-life-threatening injuries. Oh, and look at this. Wilson Garcia. Let's see. Probably Alvin Bragg's going to let him out. So... Oh, look at this. The suspect was in an unsolved forcible touching incident back in May. He was also charged with groping a 19-year-old woman at the 34th Street Herald Square station in Midtown on May 25th, allegedly grabbing her buttocks. So, again, look at this. Catch and release. And it's another example of Alvin Bragg being a Looney Tune as usual. Why aren't I surprised? Okay, and I'm going to look for that other story that they did regarding, what was it? Right. Yeah, here it is. They did a good job covering what Channel 1 couldn't cover. Yeah, so. Again, this is Alvin Bragg's Manhattan. Eric Adams can basically say what he wants, but he's powerless.
Police are on the hunt for a sexual predator who attacked at least 2 women in 2 different boroughs. The first assault happened on the Upper West Side. Then days later, the man targeted someone else in Brooklyn. Eyewitness News reporter Crystal Cranmore has more on the search for the predator.
I mean, look at this.
Take a good look at the suspect. You see him jumping the turnstile with a scooter. The attack happened around 6 o'clock Saturday morning. The woman yelled for help before authorities say the suspect let her go and ran away. Detectives are linking this attack to another one last week near...
But the problem is, again, you know what Alvin Bragg's going to do. He's going to let him out. Watch. They'll catch him, and then Alvin Bragg will basically release him.
69th and Broadway on the Upper West Side. Surveillance video shows the suspect running away. The 33-year-old victim says the man rode up on a scooter, dragged her to a secluded area, and then sexually assaulted her. He also used the scooter to get away.
Well, I don't feel safe anymore, and I don't think that they're doing anything about it. The mayor, the governor, I think they just add to the problem. That's my opinion.
How do you stay safe? That's my...
Well, again, this lady also doesn't realize that Alvin Bragg's the problem too. So, I'm sorry if I keep bringing his name up, but folks, you gotta understand, again, this is what we're dealing with. So, before we get to the Courier, I want to get to, and I'll close all the other tabs out so that way I can at least stay organized here. NYC Firewire. So, the media maybe is anti-Semitic. I can't claim that yet, but there is proof that there was a major breaking news story in Flushing where there was a fire at a temple. So, yes, here we go. This is it. And then there was another fire in Bayside, 2-alarm in 35th Avenue. So here we go. 139-1972nd Road. So let's take a look at this one, and then we'll take a look at the other one. So here we go. Here we go. Yep, happened right by Main Street Cinemas. Yep, so I exactly know where this is. Can we get a street view of it? Yeah, I think this might have been a private dwelling that was converted to a synagogue. Because that's what happens in some of these cases. Yeah, I mean, this is an area that I'm very familiar with. Nice part of South Flushing, and you know, the fire department definitely had a tough job. I don't see any fire hydrants around here. So I heard they had to use 2 hoses. Okay, so let's get to the next one, and then we'll get to the other stories that are on the Courier's website. So let's get to this one here. Oh, so this was Long Island City. Wow, look at that. Okay, let's see. I think I know where this is. Oh, yeah. This is definitely Astoria. This is the apartment building in question. So, a major 2-alarm fire in an apartment in Astoria. You know, how could this one be ignored? Nope, because again, we don't care about breaking news. No. We're not going to update. No. Okay. So I just want to make sure I have everything organized here. Yes, okay. So this is what Channel 1 should have been talking about as well. This story. Commuters upset are getting parking tickets on Bell Boulevard despite using the Park NYC app. And this has been a very big topic of discussion on the Bayside Queens Facebook group. Several Queens residents who have used the Park NYC app to pay for parking on Bell Boulevard and Bayside are growing frustrated that they have been getting parking tickets anyway. While many of these people have been successful in finding tickets over the NYC Dispute app, they feel they shouldn't even need to worry about doing this in the first place. So, while some have wondered whether or not the app was updated to show they used it to pay for metered parking prior to getting ticketed, many more believe that the officers aren't checking the app before writing the ticket, often fueled by the idea that this makes it easier for the officers to meet their parking ticket quotas. One resident said she'd been ticketed 3 times on Bell Boulevard over the last 7 months. In each case, she has used the Park NYC app to pay for parking along Bell Boulevard. She emphasized that Bell Boulevard is the only place in New York City where she's run into this issue. So, according to a quote, the resident from Bayside said, "The first time I even showed the current active session to the ticketing officer, who did not care and wrote the ticket anyway, asked that I log on to the Dispute app to take care of it. It was a very time-consuming process, though no fault of my own. What's the point of having the parking app if you're not going to be able to use it?" So, yeah, I mean, this is another clueless example of technology not working very well. So, and then look at this. Of course, I think I know who she is. She claims she was supposed to go to Brooklyn. Because she was, I'm not going to give her name if I did remember it, but yeah, I think she was mentioning that she had to go to court in Brooklyn. So, who wants to deal with that headache? Go to Cadman Plaza and then worry about that. So, yeah, you would think that, you know, this would be a priority, especially a major quality of life story. You think Channel 1, their Spectrum News fan, would park along Bell Boulevard to see if they're getting affected by this. But no, that's not the case. Because again, we're queens and we just do not matter to them. We just plain simple do not matter to them. Okay, next up. Sad story that happened on the LIE. A motorcyclist from Long Island was killed on the Clearview Expressway. So here we go. This happened on Tuesday, July 26th. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay. Police from the 107 precinct responded to a 911 call of a motor vehicle collision just before 2 p.m. and found a 43-year-old victim lying in the roadway near exit 4 for the LIE with severe head and body trauma. So, what direction did this even happen in? Yeah, see, they're not even... Oh, okay, northbound. Okay, northbound. So, it said here that the NYPD later identified the motorcyclist as 43-year-old Damian Marius Valero of Haywood Road in Seaford, Long Island. EMS rushed Mr. Valero to North Shore University Hospital in Manhasset, where he was pronounced dead at the trauma center. So it says here that Mr. Valero was riding his Ducati motorcycle northbound on the Clearview Expressway right before the exit to the LIE when he struck the back of a 2009 Honda Civic, lost control of the motorbike, and wiped out. The 31-year-old driver of the Honda remained at the scene and was not charged with a hit and run, but the NYPD Highway Collision Investigation Squad continues to investigate the collision. So, thank God the driver did the right thing, because, you know, if the driver fled the scene and didn't even know that the motorcyclist was hit, that would have been big trouble right there. So, I don't know if this was a stock image, but this definitely doesn't look like the Clearview Expressway. That's a given. But my question is, what was a motorcyclist from Long Island doing in Bayside? You see, that doesn't add up. Like, if you don't have a good reason to be there in the first place, I don't know. That adds a lot of suspicion. Okay, so what I want to do is organize a couple of the stuff. Yeah, so a lot going on in Astoria. You know what? I'm not even gonna read these till the next video, but I do want to get to this. This is a more urgent priority. How could Channel 1 ignore this? All right, the Astoria things again. We can get to that in another video, in another time, but. This is a more serious story that we're going to wrap up. Here we go. A body was found at a home in Jamaica. I mean, how in the world could you ignore this? How? Here we go. The woman was from Brooklyn. So here we go. It says, 54-year-old Gloria Lee was found at the home on Pine Grove Street in Jamaica within the 103rd precinct just before 7 a.m. on July 26th. Police said that the medical examiner ruled Lee's death a homicide. The Queens Courier reached out to the office of the chief medical examiner for more information and is waiting for a response. A police spokesperson could not confirm how long the body was at the residence nor if the victim had any relationship with the homeowner, so... Yeah, as I said, tomorrow I'll probably do a separate video calling out Channel 1 ignoring Astoria, because I do not even have the patience to deal with it today. I really don't. I mean, again, if you want legitimate news, this is where you have to go. This is where you have to go. There's a positive side of Astoria. Don't get me wrong here, but... Let's look up Pine Grove Street in Jamaica. I think I know where this is. In Jamaica. let's see. They even have the address. Let's see. Hopefully the article will pull up. Yeah, because my other tab is making it go a little bit crazy. Okay, well, they're not going to say the address, but... Let's see where Pine Grove Street is. So I think I know where it is. Oh, yeah, I know where Pine Grove is. This is in South Jamaica. But this is in the confines of the 103. Yes, so... So I know exactly where this is. Right by Liberty... Not too far from where Liberty Avenue is. Okay. Well, I think I'm done talking about Channel 1 today. I think I'm completely burnt and wiped out talking about their nonsense. Alright. So... Yeah. That's how we're going to wrap this up today, folks. I'm done calling them out. I think that concludes this video. And tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll do a separate video talking about the news that got ignored in Astoria again. So that's it.